Next. Coming up right after we're done with this, man, he's on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. Tennessee Athletics Director Danny White is with us. Danny, good morning to you. How are you?
Doing great. How are you guys doing this morning?
We're doing pretty well. So this is why you took this job, right? For a weekend like this, we're excited to get there, but I imagine this one's going to be a whole lot of fun if it is not already.
Yeah, still learning about probably the passion of our fan base, and really excited that we sold the stadium out for the weekend. It brings a lot of energy into everything we're doing, and I can't wait to see Neyland Stadium tomorrow night.
So the history, and as you said, you're still learning about everything. How much have you learned about Lane Kiffin and how the fans feel about Lane making his return to Knoxville and how much fun that is going to be?
Yeah, I've known Lane for quite some time, and my brother actually worked with him for a few years at FAU. And so for me, it's not so much about that, more about, we got a nationally ranked opponent coming in, and our team is playing pretty good. We're growing every week. We got some buy-in across our roster, and these kids are battling and getting better week to week. And so we're excited about what we could do on the field on Saturday night.
So you made a hire that obviously you believed in, and you loved Josh from your time at UCF. Are you do you feel like you guys are ahead of schedule or right on schedule in terms of a couple of SEC wins? Maybe you found a quarterback that's really playing well right now. It feels like the optimism is higher for this team than maybe many of us expected this early with a new staff and so many changes in the football program.
Hello?
Yep.
Oh, you guys there?
Yeah, we're here. We're here. You may have missed that. I was saying, you made a hire that you liked in terms of Josh, obviously, and time that you had spent with him at UCF, and but at the same time, there's a lot of change, and it feels like to me that the fan base, Danny, is a lot more just optimistic and buy-in than maybe a lot of us thought this fast with so much change. Do you feel like you guys are a little ahead of schedule, or you feel like you're right on time right now?
I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't know that I had a schedule. One thing that I think is really important for our fans and our whole university community, we need to develop, or maybe a better way to say it is expect some patience. We're trying to build a program. We're not trying to build a roster year to year. So this roster and this group of kids, I think, is probably overachieving compared to maybe what national pundits thought we'd be this year. And I'm excited for them. I think that we have really good kids and good leadership on this team, and they've really bought in, and that's why we're playing as well as we are and continuing to grow as a team. But it's going to take time to get our program where we want it to be, where it's sustainable year in and year out. But, yeah, obviously really excited to have Josh here. Hired him twice for a reason. I think he's one of the best, if not the best offensive minds in college football, and I think our fans are starting to see that.
First and foremost, thank you for joining us again this morning. And I just got to say this. UT, of course, is in a spot, and I'm sure you hear it from the fans, and I'm one of the fans. I'm a VFL and all those things involved in it. You've seen baseball do really good. Basketball has been doing a lot. But do you get a different vibe for when the football team is doing what they've done the last few weeks and the buzz of this weekend? I'm sure your phone calls have been a whole lot different this week as compared to others.
Yeah, there's no question. It lifts the spirits of our whole community, our entire athletics department, and we're having a great fall. Our volleyball and our soccer teams are killing it too. So it's been a fun fall so far, and but for me, going through my first football season here in Knoxville and seeing the pageantry around our game and everything that happens before the game, and it's exciting and certainly scoring points and winning games is a lot more fun than the alternative.
And speaking of a big weekend too, basketball season about to kick off soon. This weekend is also coupled up or paired up with the open scrimmage at TBA for the men's and women's basketball team too. The excitement around that leading right to the Vol Walk and just everything else. You got a big weekend on your hands this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And I encourage folks to get over to Thompson Bowling Arena and check out both of our basketball teams. Look great. We're kind of set up to have a really big year on the hardwood for both teams, and I can't wait to see both those teams start playing some games.
One thing I've noticed too is you listen to people around you, you listen to the fan base. I know Vol Twitter can be a little toxic at times because we expect a whole lot. But one thing that they were really pushing for was this checkerboard stadium. Was it actually a second thought behind that? I know they did the black jerseys last week, so it's a whole lot of inclusion of the fans. The players want to do a whole lot of stuff like this. And what's been your mindset into the decisions that actually push UT, a little bit past the traditional aspect of what UT is with embracing some of it too?
Sure. This is college sports. It's supposed to be fun. And, we want our fans to have fun. We want our players to have fun. I know they're excited about the checkerboard thing that's coming or tomorrow night. I'm excited to see it. It was a pretty easy decision for us when our fans started requesting it. And obviously, you want to get to a point where you have a sellout before you can do that to do it the right way. But people stepped up. They bought the seats, and we're going to have a packed house. And I think it's going to be an awesome night. Bringing Tennessee back with a sellout in a checkerboard stadium is good for college football.
Danny, one thing and we talked to a couple of people close, and we were there for the orange and white game, and we hung out and we're around a lot of EFLs that weekend, obviously, but it does seem like the administration and Donnie Plowman and everybody at Tennessee have really rallied around you, rallied around Josh, rallied around Rick, rallied around Vitello. Like, it seems like you guys are on one page. Like, there's a synergy between the school and the athletics department in a positive way. Like, the way Dondi behaved at the orange and white game, she seemed to have a knack for being one of the guys in that situation. I think that's important. Do you see it that way as well? It just feels like the university really has you guys back right now.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I sensed 7-8 months ago when Dondi and Randy, our president, and John Compton, our board chair, came down to our home in Florida. And we talked about it during the various press conferences, just the amount of alignment, but the support has been unbelievable, and they understand and they get and support the idea of how athletics can continue to build an even bigger and better national brand for our university. And we have great leadership. We have a great chancellor, and very fortunate to have the opportunity to work with all of them.
AD Danny White with us this morning, and you did something last weekend. It was real cool, and I got to ask you, number one, where did you find them? The old school VOLS letters last Saturday. How cool was that to actually see fans respond to that? What's been a reaction to it? Are they here to stay? And also, what else is you have up your sleeve when it comes down to pushing the University of Tennessee over the edge athletically?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, I'm learning every day on the job here, and I got a lot to learn about our history. But one thing I have figured out pretty quickly is our fans love those letters and the nostalgia that I think that evokes for a lot of people. That's kind of pre-video board days when those letters were glowing at the top of the stadium. So I asked our people, and they had them somewhere, I don't know where, and pulled them out of a shed or something, I don't know, but rolled them out, and we're going to continue to have fun with that. And we have a ton of renovations we need to do at the stadium here in the coming years. It needs a lot of work, and we're excited about the improvements that we can make. And I think that finding a way to incorporate those letters needs to be a priority, and we'll figure that out.
I've seen as of late, like one of my former teammates, Chris Walker, he tweeted out last week, man, it just feels different here. And I see that Al Wilson's number was retired last weekend. You having a bunch of VFLs come back in town, and when you have those conversations with those guys, and we're not getting ahead of ourselves, like you said, we're trying to build a program from where we were. When you talk to those guys that's laid down a lot on that field in Neyland, what response are you getting from them about what's happened so far?
I think people are excited. I see Chris all the time, but hearing what you just said, that Chris had shared with you that's special. That's impactful to me. I want our players to be really proud about what we're doing. I think our fans, we want them to be proud as well, and I think they feed off the energy of current and former players. And I think we got a good thing going right now. We just gotta. We got to keep grinding. We got a lot of work to do, but I have every intention, and I think everybody that's here working on our football staff, in our athletics department, we're all excited and we're all confident that we can rebuild this Tennessee brand into being a nationally dominant player, and that's exactly what we plan to do.
Danny, just curious on your thoughts on this. Does winning create culture, or does culture create winning? Because we talked a lot about when Heupel came in, and we talked to I don't know how many former players. Of course, I've got one in the studio with me about how the culture had just been lacking for a while. It just didn't feel the same. Heupel's come in. He's embraced a lot of. You've embraced a lot of former athletes. You've brought them all back. There is a culture shift, and it's not something that usually changes overnight. It's gradual, and I'm sure it's probably true on both sides. But would you say culture actually creates the winning, or does winning create the culture?
I think it's all about culture. I won't use profanity on the radio here, but they say culture does something to strategy all day long, and focusing on the culture, and that's what Josh has done a great job of, like phenomenal job with his roster and with his staff. He's hired really talented leaders across the board with the coaches he's assembled, and but across our athletics department, we've been very intentional, and we have a long way to go to establish the kind of championship culture that we want. We're in the middle of building a strategic plan. When we finish it, we'll make that a public document for all of our fans. I'm a believer in having a plan and spending the time to decide who we want to be and how we want to get there. And there are student athletes involved. There's coaches, staff. Mm-hmm. We're going to be very intentional about trying to build a positive culture here, and I know it's going to be a huge part of our success.
I'll say this on the way out, Danny, and we feel really good about where you guys are headed, but are you prepared for what will happen to that campus if Tennessee beats Ole Miss tomorrow?
I don't go into any game in any sport expecting anything other than winning. So we're excited about hosting Ole Miss this weekend, and I love that place. I actually worked there a couple different times, and but we want to get a W, and I look forward to our fans celebrating that one, and then we're on to the next one. As Josh says, it's 1-0, right? Week to week, 1-0. Try to go 1-0.
I'll say this: I've been trying to control myself all week. This will be my first time back as a player at a live game. I've gone to spring games, and let me tell you, by the time this game kick off, I'm either going to be really tired by the end of it, or somebody's gonna have to carry me out because I'm looking forward to this on Saturday night. I'm all in. I'm all day, and go Vols.
Go Vols for sure. I know we saw each other at the spring game, and I'm excited you're coming. We want all of our former players back all the time. Watch all around the program.